What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about drift cars in Carx Street. This is a subject that I found a little bit challenging at the beginning when I was just starting the game, because there are 3 clubs in the game that offer drift races, drift events, and drift like free drifting areas. I don't even know what to call it. Anyways, in this video I'm going to give you builds for each of those clubs. So here we go. Let's go. All right, so first let's talk about the clubs themselves. So over here you've got the Savage Club. This is sort of that free roam drifting that I was talking about. It's not free roam. They give you like a small area to drift in, and then you have to score a certain amount of points in order to win that event. So there's 15 events here. And for this one, I'm actually using the Z37, which is like the Nissan 350 or 370Z. So let me take you through one of the events real quick, just so you guys can see what it looks like and how this car performs. It's got pretty good performance. It's a C3 class, and C3 actually happens to be a little bit more difficult to drift because the cars don't have a lot of power. So it takes a little bit of finessing in the tuning in order to make the cars feel good while drifting. Now notice this area is not super small, but it's also not very big either. And when you hit stuff, you actually lose your multiplier there at the top. See how it says that X3? And this car actually drifts really well. It's very controllable. It's not a car that I worry about spinning out on. It's a car that I feel like I can, you know, kind of put where I want it to, depending on how much throttle I'm giving it and how much handbrake. And if I'm going too fast, I'll use the regular brakes to sort of get myself out of trouble. Anyways, this is a great build, and I'll show you that in just a second. Let me see if we can finish this event and actually get the score that we need to. I'm kind of all over the place with this. I'm not like drifting very well. And to be honest with you guys, I'm not like the best drifter out here. I know there's a lot of you guys that are probably insanely good at drifting in this game, especially since this game has a strong heritage, or this franchise has a strong heritage in the drifting sector with Carx Drift Online. But notice I've actually gotten the score already. We've got 35 seconds left to sort of get even more, and I think I'm on easy if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, this is one of the elite races, so I think the score, the required score, is like a little bit better. But you notice how easy it is for me to drift. It's really not that bad. And also on the bottom right corner right here next to my tachometer and my speedometer, you can see this is the inputs. You can see it's like a controller overlay. So left, right, left, right, left, right. And then you have brake, you have throttle, you have clutch, which I'm not using. So I think that's a good thing to pay attention to as we're doing these videos. So just, you know, a note. All right, let's take a look at the build here. All right, first up, we've got the engine. So parts for the engine are, you've got the racing ECU, the racing camshaft, the racing intake manifold, the racing fuel system, racing cylinder head, sport engine block, racing exhaust manifold, and the racing exhaust. In terms of tuning, it is bone stock. We did not make any changes here on the tuning. If we move over to the drivetrain, we're looking at an ultimate clutch, ultimate differential, and the racing transmission. Stock drivetrain in terms of tuning on the transmission. This is what feels the best to me. I'm sure there's better tuners out there. You guys exist. I'm not the best, but I'm just trying to give you something that exists and works good for me. So first gear, we're at plus 0.3. Second is at plus 0.09. Third is at plus 0.06. The drivetrain loss is also adjusted to -1. It's all the way down. The differential is tuned at plus 0.4 on the lock acceleration, plus 0.2 on the lock deceleration, and then a plus 35 on the preload. Again, just what feels good to me. Let's move over to the body parts. I've got the street weight reduction on here and stock everything else. No tuning on this because street weight reduction does not offer tuning. You'd have to get at least the racing one to do that, and that's going to push me over into C4. We don't want to be there. We want to be C3 249. So that's what we're looking at. No tuning on the body parts. Let's head over to the suspension. This is where things get a little bit interesting. This is going to help shape your drift build. For the suspension arms, I'm at the ultimate on both front and rear suspension. I got stock anti-roll bars, stock braking system, racing front springs, racing rear springs, racing front dampers, and then just the stock rear dampers. So in terms of tuning, this is what I've got. Again, I'm not claiming to be like the best tuner out there, but this build works really well for me, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. So the front spring length is at -18. Spring stiffness is at plus 39. Front camber is at -7.5, which is the minimum you can go. The Ackerman angle is at plus 20. The steering angle is at plus 12.5. And for the rear, we're looking at minus 18 for the spring length. Spring stiffness is at plus 42. Camber's at plus 3. And that is it for the suspension tuning. Let's head over to the wheels. For the wheels, I've got some spacers and some wheels. So we're looking at ultimate front spacers with the street rear spacers. The front rims are the ultimate 255 30 R20s. And the rears are 285 25 R20. So again, we're running 20s on these with, you know, some grippier tires, some bigger tires. They're not like super minimal. Front tires, we're using the racing tires. Rear tires, racing tires. Now in terms of tuning, we've got the pressure up on both the front and the rear. And then for the front spacers, we're at plus 4. And that's just to, you know, make it look good, make it fit inside the fenders. Now, obviously, this car is absolutely slammed, just dumped on the ground. And I don't know. To me, this looks good, but this is not going to affect performance that much. All right, lastly for this build, we've got the gas station setup. So the reason I take you through this is because the tires at the gas station make a huge difference in the way the car feels and reacts. And so for this one, I'm just running stock gas. You can run sport if you'd like. But for the tires, I'm running Sport Plus. Now, I've run the sports, I've run the racing, I've run all of these different tires, but this one puts it just in this very sweet spot. And you can see on the category, it's got drift to race. The farther you go towards the street category, you're going to get a more drifty feel. The farther you go towards the racing plus, you're going to get a more race feel, meaning more gripped feel. I prefer something slightly in between, but leaning more towards race, because the way that I've tuned this car, it's already pretty slippy in the back end. And so I think this Sport Plus is going to be the best one. If you want to make like broad changes to the way the car feels, go with a Sport or a Street Plus or something like that to make it more drifty. Go on the other side in order to make it more grippy. All right, let's talk about the next club, which is Drift United. And for this one, you're going to need a C4 car. So I recommend this Mustang. Well, I think it's called something else, isn't it? Let's see. I recommend this S65 Mustang for the Drift United Club. The Drift United Club is right here in C4. You can see it right here. Obviously, I'm in the elite versions of these, but you'll be starting off in the regular club one. This build is honestly phenomenal. The car feels so good. Let's start up a race so you guys can see how this build performs. It's actually really good. It just feels so nice and slippery, but also controllable at the same time. You can really score some good points. This one, I only need 1800. I'm gonna get that like very easily, I think. It's very controllable. Even in these tight spaces, for this club, you're gonna be doing a lot of tight drifting. So you're gonna need to know how to maneuver the car, and the car is gonna have to be able to be very reactionary to your steering. Now, I'm not breaking off like big drifts, but look at the score. I mean, it's just so good. I was supposed to get 1800. I end up with 36. So more than basically doubled the score on this one. The car just feels very easy to control. It's very easy to keep the back wheels going, even in like, you know, tight situations like this where you need to keep the car spinning back and forth. Maybe you need to brake because you're going in the wrong direction, or maybe you took the corner badly. See how tight this street is, and you can kind of keep it going. So this build, I don't know. I'm in love with this because the car feels very controllable. It feels like I can put the car where I want to put it and not have to worry about, you know, losing traction or not being able to, you know, spin the wheels again. That's a big problem with some of the cars that are like a little earlier in the game. You kind of have to worry about losing your drift momentum, and then all of a sudden your car grips up and then you can't get the wheels spinning again. Sometimes that's a problem. Not with this car. So let's take a look at the build. All right, starting with the engine, we've got the racing ECU, racing cams, racing intake, fuel system, cylinder head, and then the sport engine block. For the exhaust manifold and exhaust are both stock, along with the turbo is also stock. In terms of tuning, we've done nothing here. It's all stock there. Let's head over to the drivetrain. For the drivetrain, we're looking at the ultimate clutch, ultimate diff, ultimate transmission, and the stock drivetrain for this one. In terms of tuning, we've got the gear shifting speed set at minus 0.06. First gear is tuned to plus 0.52. Second gear is plus 0.36. Third gear is plus 0.26. Fourth gear is plus 0.2. And fifth gear is plus 0.08. Now, you're not really going to get into these gears. Sixth gear is plus 0.06. You're not really going to get into 5th and 6th too much in this playlist or in this club. But, you know, this is just, I don't know how I decided to tune this one. Drivetrain loss is at -1. As far as the acceleration and deceleration lock, plus 0.4, plus 0.2. Preload is at plus 35. For the body parts, we've got the Elite weight reduction and then the racing rear aerodynamics. For these, I did not tune it at all. This is all bone stock. We do not have to make adjustments there. For the suspension, I've got the Elite front arms, the Elite rear arms. Then we've got the Ultimate anti-roll bars for both front and rear, the racing brakes, and the Elite front springs, Elite rear springs, Ultimate front dampers, Ultimate rear dampers. And then for the tuning, we're looking at plus 60 spring stiffness in the front, plus 120 on the front anti-roll bars, -6 for the camber, plus 25 Ackerman, and plus 7.5 steering angle. And then for the rear, we're looking at -27 spring length, plus 36 spring stiffness, -15 for the stiffness on the anti-roll bars. And for the camber, we're at plus 2.5, wheel toe plus 0.25. And I think that's it. Yep, that's it for the suspension. For the wheels, we've got the Ultimate front spacers, nothing on the rear spacers. Front rims are Ultimate 265s, 25 R19s. And then for the rear rims, we're at 285, 25 R20s. We got 20s in the back and 19s in the front. It just seemed like the body needed the 20s in the back. There's a little bit bigger of a wheel well back there, and I didn't want to have all those gaps. So that's why I ran that. The front tires are the Elite Stretch plus 10 for the front. The rear tires are the Elite Stretch plus 5 for the rear. In terms of tuning, all I did was change the offset to plus 4 for the front spacers. Did nothing with the rears. All right, and then finally with my gas station setup, we're looking at the stock fuel, the Sport Plus tires again. I just feel like this tire just gives you the best amount of grip and control, but also allows you to drift a little bit with the proper power in the car. So anyway, that's it for the setup on this guy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. All right, moving on to the 21Tribe. This is the last one here. And for this one, I'm using the FLD, which is like the Nissan Z, basically, like a Fairlady Z. This one needs to be C5 349. So we've got a nice build here. This car feels amazing. And let's go ahead and just take you through a couple of these little races here. These are a little bit different. They're kind of the same as the Drift United, but they're more on like the toge roads. They're like on the mountain roads. So it kind of feels really nice to be drifting on these roads instead. Oh, I went a little wide there. We hit a rock. All right, let's keep it together. Using the handbrake here on the transitions. We're a little too close to that one. 700 points instead of 4. We only needed 4 for that one. I kind of messed up, hit that rock, but it is what it is, man. We passed it. This is one of those elite races again. I've already finished these clubs, so let's move on to another one. I want to really showcase what this build can do. That was kind of a short course here. All right, here we go. 1900 points is the goal here. Here we go. Notice these roads are like Toge Central, man. It's all down this mountain. This course is going to be a lot of fun with this car. Little handbrake there at the beginning of the turn. We got around it nicely. These are very tight turns. That one I almost came to a complete stop on. This is an insanely tight course, dude. I got to get the car turned all the way around. I'm in second gear this whole time. There we go. We're around the corner. Notice I'm not having any trouble drifting in second gear. We came almost to a complete stop, and I was able to just recover it easily. Not my smoothest situation, but it is what it is, man. We got a little bit of speed on this one. Oh, this is a nice sweeper. Don't hit the wall here. Might go into first here on this one. There we go. And we finished. What did we end up with points on that? We had to get 1900. We got 4400. Dude, we completed that so easily. I could have raised the difficulty 100% on that one. No issues there. Anyways, this build, you're gonna love this build. This one feels really, really nice. So let's get into the tuning shop, show you what I got. Again, just a disclaimer, I am not a CarX tuning god. I don't have the answers on every situation. But if you're out there and you're like, man, you should have done this in the drift, you should have done this with the suspension or this with the engine or whatever, please leave comments. Just be respectful and be helpful. That's the whole point of my channel, is to be helpful for the community. So here's what we got in terms of the engine. So we've got the elite everything, elite on every single part, elite, 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 elite. In terms of the tuning, all stock, nothing in the tuning department on this one. Going for the drivetrain, we've got the ultimate clutch, differential, and transmission. For the tuning, we've got nothing, bone stock on this one. For the body, we've got ultimate weight reduction, ultimate front and rear aerodynamics. For the tuning, nothing, bone stock. This one's easy, man. For the suspension, we've got the racing arms for both front and rear. We've got the ultimate anti-roll bars. We've got the ultimate brake system. We've got the ultimate springs. We've got the ultimate dampers on both front and rear. As far as the tuning goes, we got the stiffness for the front anti-roll bar at plus 48. Front suspension arms, -3. Caster angle, -1.2. Ackerman angle, plus 15. Steering angle, plus 6. For the rear springs, we're at -17 on the length, plus 68 in terms of the stiffness. I believe that's it in the rear. For the wheels, no spacers. But we do have Elite 235/35 R18s on the front, and we've got the 235/35 R18s on the rear. For the front tires and rear tires, we're at the racing -5 for the profile. This is what the fitment looks like. It's pretty nice, pretty clean. The back is a little bit tight. Might want to bring that in a little bit, but this is just what I've got set up right now. For the pressure, we got -1 on the front and +1 on the rear. For the gas station, I'm running sport gas. Don't really need to, but I'm doing it anyway. Might as well fill up while I'm here. And then I've got the Sport Plus tires. Again, that same spot. It's that really sweet spot. It just feels really good to me. Again, you can adjust the way this car feels just by going one tire up, one tire down. You'll see an immediate change in the grip of the tires and the way the car hooks up or drifts or doesn't drift. For this particular playlist, I recommend something that's sort of in between. It's kind of what I like. It's what I've done on basically all three of these builds today. So anyway, I really hope you're having fun with Carx Street. I know I am, and I'm happy that it's on Xbox finally. We've got a stream tonight. If you guys want to join in, we'll be doing a bunch of racing, probably on the streetnet racing, so you guys don't have to bring your own cars. We can just do a bunch of, you know, loaned vehicle racing online. I have my Militia Gaming Co server. If you guys don't know how to play in that, you guys can just head to the stream and I'll explain everything when you get there. Whether you're on Xbox or PC, doesn't matter. It's completely cross-platform. So anyways, hope to see you guys there tonight at 9 p.m. Central. I really appreciate you guys watching this video, and hopefully these builds have helped you out with your 3 clubs. I know these clubs are a little bit sort of difficult, and if you don't know how to build drift cars, you don't know how to build cars in the game, this is some good information for you. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next one. Trigger out.